Star Wars Outlaws, much like the now classic Uncharted games, is packed with third-person shooting, duck-and-cover action, diverse landscapes, climbing, and cinematic sequences. But is there more to this game than simply being a modern Star Wars copycat? Welcome to GameList Plus. My name is Josh, and today I'm asking, is Star Wars Outlaws Uncharted in space? I have delved into the IGN and Ubisoft videos, read press releases and articles covering details of the upcoming open-world game, Star Wars Outlaws. Here are the similarities and differences between it and the classic Uncharted games that I love so very much. First, I'll talk about the similarities, then I'll talk about the differences, some of the unique features about Star Wars Outlaws, then wrap up with my personal hopes and feelings for this 1980s style Star Wars game. Sadly, I did not get the chance to go to Summer Game Fest to actually try this game out in person, which I really was hoping to do since I live right here in Los Angeles. But I did get an email back saying they might be able to squeeze me in, and they could not squeeze me in, so that's okay. Hopefully by next year, the channel will have a lot more success and I will get access right off the bat. Anyway, I'll start with the similarities between Star Wars Outlaws and Uncharted. One of the most obvious similarities is the fact that both of these games are action-adventure games that are told from the third-person perspective. One of the things that I absolutely just loved about all the Uncharted games is that third-person perspective and the whole duck-and-cover battle system. There's just something so specific and enjoyable about playing a game in this way. It's got a little bit of an old-school action shooter vibe, but it still manages to be fresh and well-balanced. Another similarity is the climbing system, as you can see from watching Outlaw's main character Kves exploring the various planet environments. Both Star Wars Outlaws and Uncharted feature very dynamic environments that the player can interact with beyond just climbing and jumping. In both games, you get to pilot various vehicles, including engaging in actual space combat in Star Wars Outlaws. Both Star Wars Outlaws and the Uncharted games have nice varieties of landscapes, from snow to deserts to lush jungles. There are at least 5 different planets in Outlaws, including Tatooine, Kijimi, Kanto, Toshara Moon, and Akiva. Akiva is a very jungly green planet that just straight up brings me back to Uncharted. Shootouts in jungly landscapes are pretty much the backbone of what Uncharted games are. And while we haven't seen much footage of Star Wars Outlaws on the planet Akiva yet, I'm sure we will see some very similar scenes to Uncharted as we play our way through this game and explore the jungles of the droid-building planet. If you're enjoying this video, it's the perfect time for you to hit that like button. It really helps my channel a lot, and also hit subscribe so you can see all my upcoming videos. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty, the combat and stealth mechanics are a very similar aspect of both Star Wars Outlaws and the Uncharted games. They both incorporate a mix of these two gameplay styles. It really is truly fun to just sneak into a situation with lots of baddies, take out as many of them as you can using stealth, and then finish off the area with guns blazing. Thematically, both of these games are sort of similar as well, in that most of the time in Uncharted games, you're trying to track down some kind of unknown treasure while being chased down or hunted by some bad guy. In Star Wars Outlaws, from what I understand, it's a heist story where you're trying to steal a specific item while engaging with various syndicates, one of which is trying to hunt you down. In both cases, you're exploring for much of the game through unknown and interesting landscapes. Another similarity is these characters, Kves and Nathan Drake. They're both smooth-talking, sharp-witted smartmouths from the look of it. They both have a desire to discover, explore, and come out on top while getting a laugh with self-deprecating humor. Along with interesting character development, both of these games clearly rely quite heavily on cinematic storytelling. That's one of the strong points of the Uncharted games that I am really looking forward to seeing delivered in this post-Empire Strikes Back, pre-Return of the Jedi, 1980s style Star Wars game. Another staple of the Uncharted games that we are seeing echoed in Star Wars Outlaws is the use of set pieces in action sequences. Many of the Uncharted games' action sequences are super elaborate and really feel like you're just playing the action star in a blockbuster movie. It definitely seems like Star Wars Outlaws is trying to do something similar, but it remains to be seen how well it's pulled off. Now, how about the differences between these games? The obvious biggest difference is the fact that Star Wars Outlaws is touted as an open-world game. The Uncharted games were very linear in nature, just going from point A to point B and doing quite a bit of exploring on your way, but in no way an open world in any of the games. Having the variety of the jungles of Akiva, the sandy wastelands of Tatooine, the savanna-like moon of Toshara, and the criminal gambling wasteland of Kanto all make Star Wars Outlaws look very promising. Also, the setting of Star Wars Outlaws versus the setting of the Uncharted games are clearly very different. In Star Wars Outlaws, Kay is exploring these various planets and enjoying the already established, expansive and fantastical lore, species, and technology of the George Lucas universe. Uncharted is all Earth-based and centers around a more Indiana Jones-style world of archaeology. You explore the unknown by going into ruins and trying to find artifacts and treasures, but that's all set within Earth-based ancient civilizations where you solve puzzles before the bad guys do. Thankfully, as the Uncharted games wrap up, they do explore personal themes of friendship and loyalty, legacy, and identity. Star Wars Outlaws, on the other hand, it's Star Wars. So you've got crazy wild alien creatures and foreign bizarre planet features that you just won't see on Earth. Its themes are more political, more about the big scheme of things, and galaxy-changing type storylines. But it does remain to be seen how personal the story will get. This game is considered canon, and Star Wars is considered a space opera after all. One of the things about Star Wars Outlaws that I have absolutely never seen in a previous game is instead of having an upgradable skills and abilities system with points, Kay will go to specific characters within the game on different planets and areas to gain specific skills from them individually that you will then use throughout the rest of the game. This is a really cool new element that encourages exploration through the open world, and I hope it really pans out well for the way the game is played. Another element that Star Wars Outlaws does very differently is the use of crime syndicates within the game. The reputation system will allow you to use these syndicates to your advantage when you see fit. As you explore the various planets, syndicate members could be found on any of those planets or moons. The syndicates are as follows. You've got the Hutts, led by, of course, Jabba the Hutt from Return of the Jedi. The Hutts are forceful, powerful, and they just take whatever they want. Then you have the Pike, which are wealthy and powerful, who are led by Gorak of the planet Toshara. They are money-hungry and ruthless. Then you've got the Crimson Dawn, which are led by Lady Kira. This syndicate operates in the Shadows of Power, which we'll see how that plays out in the game. Then there's the Ashiga clan, which is a newly created clan from the planet Kijimi. They're kind of these insectoid samurai types that seem to share a hive mind that all serve their queen. Then finally you have the Zarek Besh, which are the primary bad guys in this game. They're wealthy and they're always after Kay, our hero, because she seems to be a thorn in their side. Another cool thing I find appealing about this game is the very cool sidekick character Nyx, who from what I understand was created with an actual hand puppeteer rather than just being completely CGI created, which definitely harkens back to the 1980s Star Wars days. One of the game's creators was talking about the last day of shooting motion capture, that apparently the actor broke down and cried when they knew that that was their last day playing the character because they'd grown so attached. That tells me that there's going to be some great character development between Kay and her little monkey-like creature Nyx. And you know, I guess that could also be considered as a similarity between Star Wars Outlaws and Uncharted games. You kind of always have an additional person somewhere nearby or helping you out as you go along your way in Uncharted. In Star Wars Outlaws, you have Nyx, your cute furry little buddy to help you distract enemies and grab weapons and help you in all kinds of ways. In any case, Star Wars Outlaws looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. My personal hope is that this is going to be the best Star Wars game that's ever been released. Star Wars Outlaws is the first actual open world game after over 100 Star Wars games that have been released in the last 42 years. So yeah, no pressure. I'm also really hoping that even though this is a big open world game, that each of the planets and the areas that you explore will have a feeling of density like Dragon's Dogma 2 has, with plenty of things to find and discover rather than just being big open empty spaces like players find themselves endlessly running through in Starfield. I'm cautiously optimistic though. Sometimes things look better than they turn out to be, obviously. But if the game manages to capture my attention and take me on an awesome journey like the Uncharted games did, I will be more than satisfied. I'm fully prepared for it not to be good, but from what other people have said about playing the game, it's supposedly pretty darn satisfying from the initial experiences that they had. The fact that it's so story-driven and character-driven like the Uncharted games does make me excited to try it, to be honest. It seems like the developer Massive Entertainment, even though they are under the umbrella of Ubisoft, really put a ton of effort into making this a well-rounded and different kind of open-world game all by itself, outside of the standard run-of-the-mill Assassin's Creed style that we're all used to seeing from Ubisoft. Thankfully, we don't have to wait too long before we can get our hands on the full version of this game as it's being released on August 30th, 2024. Don't pre-order it though, just wait until it comes out. A fun side note, the developer said that 3 of the largest planets take about 4 or 5 minutes to cross on your speeder. Now some people are expressing a lot of negative feedback as they say that that is really small, but for perspective, crossing Los Santos in Grand Theft Auto 5 takes about 5 to 10 minutes at most. So 3 to 5 planets that take at least 4 minutes each on a speeder doesn't sound that small to me. But that's just what I think. What do you think is the best Star Wars game ever created? What's your favorite Star Wars movie? Do you like any of the new Star Wars shows that have come out of Disney? Do you understand why I said not to pre-order? Let's talk about it in the comments below. While you're here, why don't you check out these 10 exciting new gameplay reveals of summer 2024. That's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to all my subscribers. You guys are awesome. I will see you next time on GameList Plus.